Alright, so for the orange caramel ganache, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this time, we're gonna make a dry caramel. So before we made a wet caramel, now we're gonna make a dry caramel. So what you're gonna do is, turn this on about 5 or 6. So for you guys over there, a quarter of the way of the heat, okay? We wanna go kind of slow, because what we're looking for is we're looking for the sugar to melt, all of the sugar to melt together before we start getting color. And if we go too quick, we're gonna burn our sugar before we start getting color, or before it all melts. So, again, no tools, we're not using any tools. You're just gonna swirl it around and moving the sugar. So on the bottom of the pot, we have some sugar that's dissolving, and then the undissolved sugar up top, right? So just kind of swirl it around. And be patient. With this type of caramel, patience. Sometimes when I do this, what I'll do is I'll put the glucose in the pot first, and then I'll slowly add the sugar. But I did it this way earlier today, and it worked just fine. So I think if it's a larger quantity, it'd be better to do the other way, but this is fine for this way. So keep in mind that once when it starts cooking, you're not cooking any moisture out. So when it's all dissolved, it's going to go right into brown. So you're not waiting for any of the moisture to leave because we didn't add any moisture, right? So it's, once when it gets melted, it's going to go very quickly. Alright, so all my white's starting to go away, so it's starting to get all melted. So if I keep holding up my pot like this, keep moving it around, I'm cooling down my sugar. But if I do it too much, then I won't ever get brown, okay? So you gotta be patient and let it sit as well as moving it, all right? There's an equal balance. Maybe not quite equal, but there's a balance. So when it looks wet, start stirring. Not stirring, starts moving. Again, make sure that it's in the center of the cook temp. Some pots have hot spots regardless, but you're going to help yourself by putting it in the middle of the cook temp so it'll brown a little bit more evenly. You see the browning on one side, just swirl it around. Notice no tools, right? I put nothing in there. So don't do that, because if you do that, you're going to cause crystallization, you're going to cause lumps. So you don't want to use any tools just yet. Alright, so I got a nice light color, slightly lighter than my table. And so what are we looking for? What color of caramel are we looking for? Sit a little bit better. Or a little bit darker. Why do we need it to be that color? What happens if it's too light? No flavor. And if it's too dark, it's going to be bitter, right? We don't want to eat anything bitter. So you have to be patient. So it's still on 6. All my sugar is dissolved. Okay, so that's ideal. Before you get any color, it's all dissolved. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off and let my carryover heat take it slightly darker. And then this time, I'm going to go ahead and add my orange and my sorbitol. Okay, so both of them are in here together. Now, hear all of the noise it's making and a lot more steam just from adding. That's because it's not as warm as when I did my warm pre before, right? So that's why we warm up the milk and cream because that reduces that. Okay? Go ahead and add your orange zest. And we're going to bring it to a boil. Swirling it as I bring it to boil, turn it off. Let it sit for a moment. Why are we letting it sit? Trying to dissolve some of that caramel into the juice, okay? So we don't get as much lumps. Doesn't mean we're not going to get any, just to reduce the number of lumps we're going to get. Okay? Alright, so once it comes to boil, it settles down. Honestly, we'll be more successful doing this. Alright. We're looking for the majority of the caramel to dissolve. Okay? Scraping it off the bottom of the pot. So we're making a ganache. And ganache is a delicate balance of liquid and chocolate. Okay? This time we're using milk chocolate and cocoa butter. So we've added cocoa butter because cocoa butter will set up firmer than milk chocolate. So milk chocolate has a lot of sugar and a lot of milk solids in there. So it doesn't set up as firm as like our dark chocolate, semi-sweet, or bitter chocolate. So, what we want to do is we want to make sure we have a delicate balance. If you don't have enough liquid in your ganache, it'll look broke. Alright? Now, we do have sorbitol, which helps keep that from happening. Alright? And that's why sorbitol is in there. But if we sit here and we boil the caramel in the orange juice, we're going to reduce our moisture, and then that'll make our ganache too thick. Okay? This is going to go inside of a molded chocolate chip, and we want it to be nice and soft. We don't want it to be like crunchy hard chocolate, right? We also don't want it to be frozen. Okay. So I have the majority of the caramel melted. So we have orange zest in here as well. So orange zest, the flavor from the orange zest is going to come out as soon as it gets hot. The oils from the zest is going into the rest of the orange juice and everything else. So straining it out, we're still going to get the flavor, but the oils are in there. So we're going to get the flavor still, but we just won't have the zest. So it's going to be nice and smooth, okay? So once your caramel is dissolved, you can go ahead and strain it over top of your milk and your cocoa butter. If you have a little bit of caramel still in your bowl or your pot, the best way to clean it is to put water in there and bring it to boil. Okay? Everybody does have their egg yolks covered for their mousse, right? Okay. So I'm just letting all of the heat from the caramel melt the milk chocolate and the cocoa butter, so that's why I'm just letting it sit for a minute. After it sits for a couple minutes, then you can just sit here and stir underneath. Just to help them to get emulsified together. While that's sitting, you can Grande or Cointreau, whichever one you use, into your port deli. And then keep stirring this. This might not get completely melted, and that's okay, right? Because we're going to use an immersion blender, and that's going to help it all come together. So what we want to do is we're cooling down our chocolate mixture to about 90 degrees, all right? And then when it's 90 degrees, we're going to put it on top of the butter and the Ganache. We don't want to melt the butter completely, because once the butter melts, it separates, okay? And we want the butter to just be part of the product. And it adds a little bit of body and sheen to the ganache, all right? Which is something you want when you have your filled ganaches. And then the alcohol, if we bring that to a boil, we warm it up too much. We're going to lose some of the flavor with the evaporation from the alcohol, from heating up. So that's why this is the last thing we're adding. And so we're going to cool this down to about 90 degrees. I'm already really close. I don't want to really put it on ice. I want to keep getting it at room temperature to let it cool down. Wonderful. All right. So I'm going to take this, add it to my butter and my Ganache in the port deli. And then you're going to grab an immersion blender. Make sure you submerge the blender underneath the product and then turn it on. And this is going to emulsify everything together. So you're going to do this just until the butter is all on. You can't see the pieces. It should be a nice smooth product. I'm just going it on low. And once it's nice and smooth, tap it on to get your excess off. And then just put it on the plate. And you should actually wear a glove when doing that, because we're just going to share these. So I wipe this down with gloves so that you guys don't get the COVID that I don't have. And then, can't be too careful. All we're going to do is put a lid on here, and then I'm going to put them in the freezer, and we're going to use this next week. Okay, so this is done for the night.